Henry Harry Thorpe was a Braboo-Wallong man of the Gunai-Kurnai Nation and an accomplished soldier who served in the First World War. Leaving his family home at Lake's Entrance for the Western Front in France, Harry survived being wounded twice to rise to the rank of corporal. He was awarded the Military Medal for his bravery during an operation in Belgium. The military citation commended Harry's disregard of all danger and described him as an inspiration to his men. Sadly, Harry was killed during the Great Allied Offensive at Somme on the 9th of August 1918, just 3 months before the war's end. He was laid to rest at the Heath Cemetery in France. Harry's story is one of courage and sacrifice. It transcends time and will never be forgotten. William Reginald Rawlings was a courageous Aboriginal soldier who fought for Australia during the First World War. He made the journey from Framlingham to the Western Front, where he distinguished himself in the field of battle. William was awarded the Military Medal for his role in an advance on Moreland Court Ridge in July 1918. He led an attack on a communication trench during which he brushed aside all opposition. William was said to have displayed rare bravery with his irresistible dash and courage. Sadly, he was killed on the 9th of August 1918, just 3 months before the end of the war. Today, we not only remember William's personal sacrifice in the defence of freedom, but also the contribution made by hundreds of Aboriginal servicemen and women during the war years.
Now all working straight, it makes me feel so lonely.
Auntie Alice Thomas was the most senior Gunai elder in Victoria and an extremely talented piano player. Self-taught by the age of 5, she performed regularly for most of her life at fundraising concerts, community functions and cabarets, as well as hundreds of Aboriginal funerals. Auntie Alice's music was always uplifting, and it's a testament to her gift that she could raise people's spirits on even the most sombre occasions. She was passionate about her community and always on hand to help others. She never missed an opportunity to support her people and received the love and respect of all who met her. A born entertainer and bona fide legend, Auntie Alice lived every one of her 95 years to the fullest. She was truly one of a kind.
On Girdler Street Hill.
Auntie Edna Brown was a popular Gunditjmara elder whose kindness touched the lives of the most disadvantaged. She came from Framlingham to Fitzroy as a girl and grew up to be a much-loved community leader, as well as a vocal campaigner for Aboriginal rights. Auntie Edna believed her people had the right to a dignified burial and was a driving force behind Victoria's first Aboriginal funeral fund. Its success was due to her hard work and tireless fundraising efforts. A supporter of many community-run organisations, Auntie Edna had a long association with the Victorian Aboriginal Health Service, which she helped establish in 1973. Her spirit lives on today in the many people who continue to be inspired by the values she lived by. Auntie Edna is a role model for us all. Graham Atkinson is a community leader committed to social justice, land rights and empowering individuals. The Dja Dja Wurrung and Yorta Yorta elder is an untiring advocate for traditional owner groups and helped negotiate the Traditional Owner Settlement Act in Victoria. Since graduating as Victoria's first tertiary qualified Aboriginal social worker, Graham has worked for many government and community-run organisations, including the Victorian Aboriginal Childcare Agency. He has also run his own Aboriginal consultancy firm since 1986. Recognised for his leadership, Graham has been appointed to numerous boards, including the Aboriginal Heritage Council Victoria, the Indigenous Land Corporation, and the Dja Dja Wurrung Clan's Aboriginal Corporation. A highly respected role model, Graham remains committed to inspiring positive change to help build a better society for his people and the community. Auntie Walda Blow is a Yorta Yorta and Wemba Wemba elder who has been working for her community for more than 4 decades. She helped establish services for Aboriginal families in Dandenong and went on to manage the Margaret Tucker Hostel in Fairfield for 21 years. Auntie Walda is synonymous with the hostel, where she was a mother figure and mentor to many girls. As well as founding the Women's Interfaith Network Foundation, Auntie Walda has served on numerous committees, including NAIDOC and the Yorta Yorta Nation Aboriginal Corporation's Council of Elders. She is an accomplished public speaker and has addressed forums in Australia and internationally. Over the years, Auntie Walda has inspired many young people to become active participants in their communities. In doing so, she is helping new generations of leaders to realise their full potential. Uncle Boydie has made a substantial contribution to his community over many years. Among his achievements, he is the longest-serving board member of the Rumbalara Aboriginal Cooperative. He has also been a key supporter of Yorta Yorta native title and is a sought-after public speaker. One of Uncle Boydie's dreams was to complete the unfinished business of his grandfather, William Cooper. In 2012, he reenacted his grandfather's historic protest against the Nazis to great success. Uncle Boydie then embarked on an ambitious campaign to deliver William Cooper's famous petition intended for King George V in the 1930s to Queen Elizabeth. This year, that goal too was finally achieved. With his message about standing up for what you believe in, Uncle Boydie is an inspiration to people of all ages. Simon Wonga was an important 19th century Aboriginal leader who became Narangita, or headman, of the Wurundjeri people, at a time when their future was uncertain. He learnt the ways of colonists and used the knowledge to help his people face the loss of their traditional way of life. He also built relationships with settlers in some of the earliest examples of reconciliation. Simon had a vision for an Aboriginal settlement at Corandurk and fought hard to realise his plan, ably assisted by his cousin, William Barrack. After successfully lobbying government, they established a thriving farming community that enjoyed many years of success. Thanks to Simon Wonga and his unflagging determination, his people were able to regain a place for themselves in the country that was taken from them. Jack Patten was one of the great Aboriginal leaders of the 20th century. A Yorta Yorta man who spoke out against Aboriginal inequality with such power that his words resounded across the land. Among his many achievements, Jack helped establish the Aborigines Progressive Association. He also organised the first Aboriginal Day of Mourning in 1938 and wrote the first Aboriginal newspaper. Jack drafted a 10-point plan for citizens' rights, now considered a historic document that did much to galvanise support for Aboriginal rights. After helping to organise the famous Cummeragunja Walk-Off in 1939, he served in the Second World War. He spent his final years working for the Aboriginal community in Fitzroy. Jack inspired a whole new generation of Aboriginal leaders to carry on the fight in his name. His important legacy will never be forgotten. Auntie Winnifred Quagliotti was a respected Wurundjeri elder who fought to preserve cultural heritage in Victoria. She was admired for her pragmatic solutions to the issues affecting her people. A founding member of the Dandenong and District Aboriginal Cooperative Society in 1975, She helped establish many of its services and family support programs. Auntie Winnie was a vocal advocate for better housing. She sat on the Aboriginal Housing Board of Victoria and helped secure home loans for Aboriginal people. A supporter of Warrawa Aboriginal College, Auntie Winnie also helped raise the profile of the Wurundjeri people as traditional owners. She founded the Wurundjeri Tribe Land and Compensation Cultural Heritage Council and won protection for several significant sites. Today, the legacy of Auntie Winnie's leadership and vision continues to have a positive impact on many lives. Uncle Jumbo Pearce was a respected Aboriginal leader in Gippsland whose ambition was to bring about positive change in his community. He was a big man with a big heart. Uncle Jumbo helped establish the Gippsland and East Gippsland Aboriginal Cooperative and served on the board for 25 years. He and his family provided foster care to more than 200 Aboriginal children. He was well known as someone who could solve any problem. Uncle Jumbo served on the boards of many prominent Victorian Aboriginal organisations, including the Koori Heritage Trust and the Victorian Aboriginal Education Association. He also co-founded the East Gippsland School for Aboriginal Health Professionals at Monash University. Uncle Jumbo taught others to value education, work hard and take pride in their heritage. To that end, he always led by example. Auntie Beverley Peter was a highly regarded figure in northwest Victoria, where her focus was on justice and community services. The compassionate Wiradjuri elder was forthright in standing up for society's most vulnerable and provided foster care to many children over the years. She campaigned tirelessly against family violence and helped establish Meminar Nungimi, a safe place for women and children, of which she was made patron. Auntie Bev was an elder on the Koori Court and Children's Koori Court in Mildura. She was involved with many community organisations and appointed to local and state government advisory committees, including the Ministerial Advisory Committee on Senior Victorians. Always there to lend a hand, Auntie Bev was a force for good in the lives of many and is greatly missed by all who knew her. Margaret Wirrpanda was a warrior of the Yorta people who campaigned to advance Aboriginal rights, empower women and children, revive traditional culture and support native title. As a member of the Federal Council of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders and the National Council of Aboriginal and Islander Women, she helped found many important community services. Auntie Margaret was the first female president of the Aborigines Advancement League and helped run Warrawa Aboriginal College for many years. A tireless land rights activist, she was integral to the Yorta native title claim and never stopped fighting for her grandmother's country. Remembered for her keen intuition, great strength, and as the custodian of her family's cultural heritage, Auntie Margaret was not just a great warrior, but an authoritative leader whose voice still speaks for her people today. Uncle Phillip Cooper is a stalwart of Aboriginal affairs who has worked at the state and national level for nearly 40 years. Over the years, he has helped run organisations such as the Victorian Aboriginal Childcare Agency, Ballarat and District Aboriginal Cooperative, and the Victorian Aboriginal Legal Service. More recently, Phil has worked at the Victorian Aboriginal Community Service Association Limited, implementing programs aimed at preventing family violence. He is a White Ribbon Ambassador and also co-chairs the Northern Metropolitan Indigenous Family Violence Regional Action Group. Phil co-chaired Victorian NAIDOC for 10 years and has served on the National Aboriginal Education Committee. He also helped establish programs for Aboriginal students at Deakin University. Proud to work for his community, everything Uncle Phil has achieved is in honour of those aunties and uncles who came before him. Auntie Bessie Yarram is a Noongar elder whose involvement in Aboriginal affairs spans more than 3 decades. Her achievements include establishing the Ramiak District Aboriginal Corporation in Sale and securing support for the Wanganganalu Learning Place. Auntie Bessie is a member of the Regional Aboriginal Justice Advisory Committee and chaired the National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Home and Community Care Reference Group to great success. She is regularly asked to sit on boards and committees. In the past, these have included ministerial advisory committees for seniors and dementia, the East Gippsland Aboriginal Arts Corporation, and the local Aboriginal Education Consultative Group. Despite several attempts to retire, Auntie Bessie shows no sign of slowing down. Just as she will continue to help others, others will undoubtedly continue to value her help.